Hello. Good morning. How was our night? I trust you had a splendid night rest. You're welcome. I welcome you all to today's lectures, which we proposed yesterday, and sincerely sorry for starting behind the schedule. And what we'll be discussing today is electrical blueprint. How to design electrical blueprints. What are the factors to be considered before designing electrical blueprint? And we have to explain those factors before we go in detail on how we can use our computer system to design the electrical blueprint. And we'll have several questions, samples of what we are going to show you for your understanding. First and foremost, electrical blueprint is just a schematic diagrams that contains all the accessories, all the informations that are needed in a building. For you to design electrical blueprint, you have to consider the following factors. One of which is to ascertain if the building is story building or a bungalow building. Once you have ascertained all those things through the soft copy they will give you from the architect, now you check if the building is story building or a bungalow building. If it is, you discover that it is a story building, there are other factors you are to put in also. Reason being that the total load that will be going there will be higher, irrespective of number of points you may have downstairs. It will also be replicated upstairs. Depends on the number of stories you may have. And at this moment, I will start by telling you those factors that are important. First, once the architect gives you the electrical, once the architect gives you the soft copy of that AutoCAD software, it is an engineering software that can make the drawing very easy, which most of the architect make use of. So in that case, you are to make use of that soft copy they gave you. Now, it depends on the drive you decided to collect it with. You can insert it to your what system. And once you insert it, then you open it, you right click on that soft copy. Right click and open with softwares you have installed in your system. Once you right click on it, maybe for instance, you right click on that soft copy of that AutoCAD, then open, because in my system I have AutoCAD Electrical for 2017, I have AutoCAD Electrical for 2019. So it depends on the one that you have. So you open it. Once you open it, you have what you're going to see there is just the architectural drawing. In that architectural drawing, it's going to elaborate, tell you about the features of the building. For instance, if there is walkway, passage, how many rooms that are there, how many are they in suite? That is what we call in suite. That means each of those rooms will have bedroom inside or restroom inside. So that means they are in suite. Now, once you're done with that, you check how many kitchens that is there. If it is only one kitchen, you check, because the drawing should be the one that will show you everything. Your own work as electrical engineer is to first identify those factors. How many rooms that are there, which is what we have said. What about the balcony? What about the living room? What about the other compartments that are inside a building plan? Once you're done with that, now you begin to think, what are those accessories that could be found in those locations you have identified in that your drawing. First, you see okay. For instance, if it is switch, or where is the possible place you are to have lighting point? That is a second consideration. Two, amongst these places mentioned, which one requires zone A, zone B, to zone E and zone 0 electrical installations? In zone 0 is expected for you to know the height you are to position your what? Switches, because of the floor level. Those areas that requires almost zero resistance, where you can see conduction can easily take place, you will also consider that. So once you're done with that, next option is, how am I going to have the circuit? When you are considering the circuit, for instance, circuit number 1, there is what we call diversity factors. Diversity factors presupposes that not all the load connected in one point will be working at the same time. If not, if you don't consider the diversity factor, you see it that you will be getting imaginary numbers, where you cannot even buy the equipment because of the current consumption you will be seeing at the end. And if you don't know how to apply all these factors, that is when you see people will be telling you are charging them high. Because for you to procure those equipment, you know how much it can cost. And electrical accessories, they are very expensive because most of them could be imported. Is that okay? So you should be careful with that. And another thing you are to consider also is the circuit, as I said. In that circuit, you are going to look at it that there are ones that work with each other. There are ones you can supply with what? A separate what? Circuit. For instance, at home, we know that we have different sizes of plate of food. Do you know? Now, if you decided to make a mistake to carry a food served on a smaller plate for younger ones, after you eat, you will still be hungry. Likewise, some electrical equipment, if you serve them with a cable that cannot be enough to fetch current that will satisfy them for them to operate, they will malfunction. Sometimes you will be hearing a humming sound. That humming sound cannot give you the output because the equipment cannot get the required voltage or current that will satisfy it. So what is applicable in our human nature is also applicable in electrical. That is why I say electrical installation, electrical engineering is just a natural aspect of life. So in that case, once you are done with all those things, AC circuit or AC circuit is always 1 in number. You put only 1. So you can use a maximum of 30 amps if it is 2 horsepower. 30 amps. MCB. Miniature circuit breaker, that is what MCB is all about. That MCB, I will come up with a video that will explain sizes of distribution board and how do we get the sizes. So I will come up with a video that will explain that better. But let's just limit our discussion based on this electrical blueprint. Now, once you're done with that, what we consider next is you check your socket. In socket, the diversity factor of a socket is 0.4. It doesn't have any unit. And whatever number of sockets you want to incorporate or loop together will be determined by the kind of equipment that will feed on that sockets. Reason being that if you decided to loop it, those sockets to be feeding equipment that are very heavy, for them to draw from one circuit, you see it that there will be problem because the current consumption will increase more than expected. And in that case, you see it that the equipment, the wires, and every other things used for the installation will be shrinking. Even at a point, it can cause fire outbreak. So it is very, very important you put all those things into consideration. For instance, some clients, they may not know actually what they will use part of their room for. You as an engineer, if you look at the installation, always prepare ahead for such load increment. If not, tomorrow they will begin to load the circuit. Before you know it, they will say something happened. So I urge you as an electrical designer to always be in the shoe of everyone, even without being told. Now, once you're done with that, the first thing you're going to do is to create what? The blueprint. In your electrical blueprint, remember you have considered all these factors when the architect have given you the soft copy of the drawing of the building. Is that okay? You have identified the type of building, you have identified the number of rooms, if it is high-rise building, if it is bungalow building, it depends. You have done that. And you have to put all of them into consideration. Because if you fail to do that, that is when you see it that you won't be making progress in whatever thing you do. But once you consider it, then you see it that everything in the building has been identified. And in that case, you see it that when you are calculating your total load, you see it will conform to what you are going to size as the generator size. Because some persons, they will decide to jump some circuits, some accessories without calculating the actual power ratings. At the end, they will look at it, say that there is problem. Is that okay? So, and one thing I discover is that when you're into electrical design, even as human being passes by, going towards entering a vehicle, you can examine the shape, the sizes of those human beings. And you look at the space that will be contained in that vehicle, you will know that you will not enter without being told. Driver will tell you that I do carry 4, I do carry 5. The sizes of those people have affected the space available. And if you fail to do that, to consider all those factors, that is when they will just shrink you while you are in the bus. You won't sit comfortable. Likewise in electrical installations. Is that okay? Now, once you are done with that, then, so another thing you will also consider is, now you have started the work. You design your electrical legend. Legend gives you the overall accessories that have been identified to be in that installation. Sometimes, these days, the kind of electrical drawing I have seen, they don't used to consider those things in the legend. Because you see them, a residential house that does not contain maybe anything industrial, you will see them, they will put it because it might be that they have work that they have worked on that contains such. So it's not supposed to be like that. And that is where people will say you are quack because you copied verbatim. You're supposed to understand what you are doing, not for you to just do it anyhow. So I'm going to show you all these things now. Just follow me. So as you can see the arrow here, you have electrical legend. Electrical legend. Now, if you look at this place, you see symbols. All these are symbols we can use to locate all those accessories that we need. And you see description. What is it for? And you look some notes. Look at some notes. You see some notes. Number one, as you can see from here, you see this sign is for a sign of ceiling fan. Sign of ceiling fan. Now the description is ceiling fan, and any note. This one is for note. We'll look at note later. Then you look at this. This one, the symbol is for wall bracket. Anywhere you see it, you know that you're going to put a wall bracket. Is that okay? Then look at this one. It's distribution board. The description is distribution board. This sign is distribution board. And we also have this type where you have you see this is a 10 watt what energy bulb. 10 watt energy bulb. So it continues. As you can see, this one, as you can see, we have this 2 gang. We have 6 watt surface mount. You see the light. This is it. That is surface mount. Is that okay? There are some that are POP mount, but this one, that means ceiling recessed. But in this case, you see this symbol. You see is what? 2 gang, because it have 1, 2 gang, and it is 10 amp, one way ABB, and it will be installed at this level. That means 1200 millimeter finish floor level. That is FFL. And this one is a 1 gang, which is also the same thing. Where you install 1 gang, the same height is with the 2 gang. Then you see fan regulator. This is fan regulator. Fan regulator. Then you see this downlight 5 to what? 14 watt. That is the ratage. Then you have your what? The 13. We have AC socket. With this point you're seeing here, this one is painted dark portion. This dark portion, if you print it out, it will be dark portion. So is what? AC socket. Then, but this one is what? 13 amp socket. And this one, if it is double 30 amp socket, you see it this way. That's why I'm having it this way. Then we have this TV distribution, where the TV point will be connected, and you have 2-way switch. In this 2-way switch, where you're supposed to have it is a long corridors, where you on light coming in the other end, the other side you can also off the light. Then we have water heater connector. Then you have a TV socket. You have a 1 gang, 1-way water heater. We have water heater switch, and we also, this is the sample. So all these things can vary based on what? Based on the type of installation. Now let's look at the wiring notes. So it was designed by Engineer Tech Mose Manel, that is me, was the one that designed it. And let us look at the note. The note is important point you have to consider in the installation. Now, all 13 amp sockets to be installed at what? 300 millimeter finish floor level. So you bear it in mind. That is approved or standard what height for you to place your what? 13 amp socket. 2. You see this? All door switches should be installed 1200 millimeter finished floor level and 200 millimeters away from the what? Doors is very important, because majority of people, before you know it, they will mount their switches where if you open the door, it will fall at the back of the door. So that one is unprofessional. So you have all the switches can be installed at 600 millimeters finished floor level. I have taught you how to convert from one measuring unit to other. So you go back to the previous videos if you are finding it difficult to understand. Then all TV points at the bedroom should be installed at what? 1200 millimeter finish floor level. That is it. Then all TV points are to link to what? Decoders, so that from there people can be making choices for their various channels. Not when you don't like football, somebody will select football for you. No, you have a right to watch the one that interests you. Then you have all TV points in the living room to be installed at 900 millimeters. So you know, in a parlor, this is the height that is approved for you to install your TV, especially this plasma TV they hang. So it is very important to consider. Now all lighting and power circuits are connected to the what? Distribution board as what? Essential loads. We have essential and non-essential load. Essential load are those loads we can easily make use of in a house, but non-essential is just for pleasure. For instance, you may decide not to use heater, you may decide not to use AC, but you are being compelled to use light. Is that okay? So that is why we said they are non-essential. Now, another thing we are also going to look at is, I'm just showing you the sample of the work I have done for a client for easy understanding. Look at the plan. As you can see from here, let me just minimize this so that you can see clear. As you can see from here, you see let me zoom it so that you can be able to see it well. Now look at this. This is for second floor, first floor. But let me show you, start from the first floor or ground floor, so that you can understand it better. Is that okay? Now from here, let's just stay first floor so that we can be able to go like that, the way it is. In first floor, look at the title, First Floor Power Layout, designed by Engineer Tech Moso Emmanuel O. This is my contact number. Now at this point, you see this is sit out. At this sit out, you see when you open, you will enter in this waiting room that is here. Now you see how we have utilized those accessories, those symbols we have designed. As you can see, this is TV, this is double socket, this is single socket. So when you are away from this, remember this is just the way the door will be swinged, and you have to note it. If not, you will not enjoy your installation. Everything will be falling up outside expected. Now as you can see, this is your what? Passage. In this passage you have your distribution board, we have your TV distribution, we have socket. This socket now can give supply to this TV distribution to boost the signal. Is that okay? Here you can boost the signal. Now at this point you have your other rooms here. You can see bedroom here. When the door is open like this, as you can see, the position of the TV, the position of where the AC will be, you see your socket that will give light to this TV. Then you see another switch socket that is here. Now, if you look at this place, where you didn't see anything power circuit or circuit here, is because this is bedroom toilet. In this restroom, you are not supposed to carry anything that have light to that point. Is that okay? But in switch level, you can indicate which one is water heater that will turn on the heater. Now, as you can see, this is the what? The sitting room. Either you call it sitting room or you call it what? Living room. In this case, you see the fixtures that are here. See the position of your AC, and you also see other rooms out there. So let's see the lighting point. You see the first floor lighting point designed by Engineer Tech Mose Emmanuel O. You see my phone number here. Then at this point, you are going to see how those gang are being fixed. You see, this is two gang switch. Two gang switch to one of the gang to control this. Let me first create your indulgence about what we mean by circuit. As you can see, you have B1, we have B1, we have B1, we have B1, we have B1, meaning that all these points of light, including this fan, can feed from one source of supply and nothing will go wrong. So, and as you can see at this point, you can use, this is your fan regulator. This fan regulator can be here. You turn it, that is when this fan will rotate. Then we have one of the gang of these two gang will control this sit out light. Then one of it again will control these two, as you can see. But in this place now, you see it that will have another, without this wall bracket. One here will control the wall bracket. Is that okay? So likewise, in this place we'll have a sitting room. As you can see, the sitting room arrangement, the light arrangement. You have your fan regulator. Then we have three gang switch. Three gang switch control all this light. If you look at it, you see how one interconnected. And as you can see, they are numbering B2, 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 while this one was B1. So this one is being fed from another what? Source. Is that okay? Another circuit. We call it circuit. So as you can see, it's there to this point. So we also have this side. As you can see, there is, for this room, as you can see, you have B3, B3, B3. Everything here is B3. There is going to be, this is your wardrobe. This wardrobe now, this light will shine here so that you can be able to see the road or the entrance to this restroom. And this is a light for the restroom. So from outside here, you can turn on, these two gang gave supply to this. So you turn on this one will be turning off the one that is in toilet. Because you may decide to keep this one on while the one in toilet, you can off it if you're not making use of them. And as you can see, this is your passage light. You can put the switch here. It can be able to give supply to these two lights. This is the wire that connects them. Then we'll also look at the sizes of wire to all these accessories. In our subsequent video, we will do that. As you can see how the arrow is, see this arrow, that means you're going what? You are climbing. This is a staircase. In this staircase, you're going to have one gang switch. Then I see it. Then see the point of light. Then when you climb from here, you enter another this. Then from there, you're going to see another switch that will go back to control this light, so that you can on it here, you can off it there, you can off it there, you can on it here. So it depends on you. So you have another bedroom. You see what I've told you about this. This is just the door, how door could be swing. Is that okay? This is a staircase number, or number of stairs in that staircase, or footmats in that staircase. Is that okay? I think with the help of this, we can draw the curtain here. If you have any question, any contribution, you can also let us know on the comment section. I'm really happy to have engaged you this morning. So anything you find difficult as far as electrical installation is concerned, do let us know. We are here for you. At Spark Engineering Installation and Supplies Limited, I remain the CEO and founder Spark Engineering Installation and Supplies Limited. And in our subsequent videos, we can do better than this, because we will make sure that we give you the right knowledge, which is what we have said is part of our mandate. Is that okay? So that is why we say everything is not all about money. But if you wish to show appreciation to us, it depends on you. It is also a welcome idea that will also give us more enablement to see that we are touching life out there. So, and if you need personal tutorial, you can also contact us on 08134306324, or you can email us at Spark Engineering Installation and Supplies Limited @gmail.com.ng. So that one is also welcomed, and sincerely I'm happy. Do have a wonderful day. Thank you.